everybody, and welcome back to Pharma Green's channel. We're sitting here once again with Ethan of Long Valley Farms, who, as you guys know, is joining the Pharma Green family. Ethan, how are you holding up since our last conversation?
I'm doing good. Getting ready for the season. Selecting our strains. This next year is a really exciting year for us. So we're knuckling down and really trying to design our roadmap, if you will.
Wonderful, wonderful. Glad to hear it. Yeah, January is going well so far, hitting the ground running in 2022. Glad to see it and look forward to more updates on that. I wanted to talk to you today, though, about some things, some buzz happening right now around the cannabis world, which I thought was really interesting because I never thought I would see these two topics converge so well. But now they're saying that cannabis compounds may prevent coronavirus infection. So obviously this is just a study. It's not proven yet, but I was wondering if you have any insight on this.
I have read the study also and am a firm believer in cannabis. So, little background: a lot of my peers have caught COVID. Of course, I have not. But the difference is I smoke a lot of live rosin. We use a lot of live rosin products daily because we have them, of course, and research and development, testing. Somebody's got to do the work, right? Might as well be me and enjoy it. So yeah, CBNA, CBNG are very, very, very powerful antifungal and bacteria blockers from cannabis. A lot of people are actually missing those right now, though, by smoking not full spectrum products. So carbon extraction, when you go through the carbon extraction process, you're only getting a very, very small bit of the bandwidth of the actual plant alkaloids. Yeah. So through our process of making live rosin with cold extraction, we're actually pulling more of a bandwidth through our end product than most people are. We did some testing about 3 weeks ago on some stuff that we call the Blue Lotus strain. That is a proprietary strain we've worked on for the last 6 years. And it came out at a 47%, which people are like, 47%. Now, that's not all THC. Our THC levels were real high, but the remaining bandwidth was all the terpenoids that we caught. So with that said, using that, you're going to get more of a spectrum and more of a medical relief opposed to a recreational use. So we see some great things, with these studies going on. The real exciting thing about it is being out in the light. We're going to see what this plant can really do for people over the next 10 years. And I'm right here with it. Like I said, I've watched many therapeutical uses through cannabis, from PTSD to knee surgery. My friend, she didn't want to take any opiates. So she came to me and she said, hey, I just got my knee cut open. I'm going to be down for 6 weeks. Can't walk. What can you give me to make it all right? And I gave her a really, really heavy hitting CBG strain, which is very psychoactive, gives you the couch lock effect. And the whole time she was healing. She healed even faster. She was back up and running around after about 4.5 weeks. And I truly believe that came from the uses of cannabis, the anti-inflammatory, the relaxation. All of those play a huge key in human healing.
Yeah, Ethan, there's definitely been a change of mindset. While at first, as cannabis was catching on past recreational use or past illegal recreational use, as legalization hit, people were still very much kind of focused on that THC percentage and so on, and like how much bang for your buck can you get per hit and everything. And eventually, you kind of saw that wear off, and the connoisseurs of the plant and the people who actually are fans of cannabis, they started being like, well, hang on just a second, you're kind of losing stuff here. You're kind of seeing some people getting more anxiety attacks while using it and so on.
Yep.
And they're pulling out, as you said, a lot of the other stuff, and it isn't even just CBD. That's just like the one people know. But like you said, CBN, what is it, CBDV, there's so many of them now. There's so many.
Yeah, there's tons.
Yeah,
tons of things that get lost.
Yeah, so I guess it makes sense then that there's something for everything, and these studies that are coming out are really showing that we are not even like scratching the surface of the potential of this plant yet.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, I've in my last, growing up 37 years, so we'll say 34 years of my life, I've seen it. our neighbor was a Navajo medicine woman.
Mhm.
She carried cannabis everywhere she went, even during illegal times. And the lady lived till 89 years old. Didn't really go to the doctor much, you know,
Yeah.
loved her weed. She didn't smoke a lot though. She was more of a teas, tinctures, low temperature. And I really truly believe that those things prolonged her overall health and daily enjoyment of life. She wasn't, blown out of her mind, red-eyed, slanty-eyed,
Yeah.
smiling, laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
But I think it gave her a level of maintaining of a quality life. And that's what we want to do with our cannabis. A lot of people are jumping in this for the money. I grew up in this. It's a different game for me. I've seen things that most people don't get to experience yet. They will soon because it's coming out. It's going to be nationally legal, and we're going to really see, like I said, the full benefits of this plant. I've seen them, so I'm a huge backer in it. The reason that I got into cannabis in the first place was just for that reason. I want to produce a better cannabis for every facet of the market. I want you to be able to come to Farmer Green and buy one of our edibles and sit back on the couch with a sore shoulder, eat our edible, and enjoy your TV show, enjoy your family, or say you go to a party. I want you to be able to pull out one of our live rosin products and share it with your friends. Have a magical time. It's about the experience for us. If we can heighten your experience, let's do it. Let's make a better product that's going to be enjoyable and rounded for everybody.
Yeah.
Not just your 21-year-olds running around at the bars. I want to see 85-year-old people enjoying the last bit of their life through plant medicine, and it's totally doable, and it's an exciting time to be in cannabis. I look at my grandpa's time, I look at my dad's time, and those were huge milestones for this industry.
Yeah.
And now I look at my time, and honestly, I wouldn't go to their times. I think that this is the crucial moment for cannabis, and I can really bring forth a good value to people through cannabis, and that's my goal.
Yeah, yeah, very, very well said, Ethan. I mean, we do sit at a precipice right now, and we're almost there. Like, this has been a hard-fought battle across literal generations here, trying to
Yeah.
get
Oh yeah.
legalized.
Yes.
And it's hard to convince people of, say, the medicinal effects and so on and so forth. But I think you touched on a key point there. And fact of the matter is people deserve the right to enjoy things recreationally too. And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
even at the most basic Occam's razor risk mitigation, cannabis is going to treat you a lot better than alcohol will, or a lot of other things you may choose to do. So
Oh
even
yeah.
at the most
Definitely.
basic level, without diving into it, the wide array of vast benefits in it, at the very least, it's a much safer way for you to spend your time.
Oh yeah. Definitely. So I have a lab partner. His name's Patrick Herkenrader. He has been extracting cannabis as long as I've been growing cannabis. Him and I, literally, a lot of our conversations are multiple hours of speaking on different things that we've discovered throughout our adventure in cannabis. And we know people from all over the US. They come out here, they want to enjoy cannabis, it's legal. So we have a little thing, we bring people in, we show them what we're doing, basically tours as you would. And what we found is a lot of people, California cannabis is too strong for them. It's literally too strong for them. They don't, because they've been in a state that's illegal, and they don't have access to it. So the thing through the rosins is we can make proprietary blends for everyone. Nobody wants to come out and smoke OG Kush on their vacation and be stuck in their hotel room. It's just not, you wasted your vacation. So back to the whole full spectrum of things, and the rosins and the benefits of it is we can really tailor products to our end user, and that's going to be key to becoming a recognized brand. Your 85-year-old grandmother's not going to want to get blown out on her couch. That's not her thing. The 21-year-old banging his head in the club probably going to want to get blown out on the couch. So I really believe that live rosin is the future of cannabis. And what we're finding out is aged live rosin is totally a different game. We are coming out, and we have been storing live rosin for a couple years now, and we're about to break open our very first cold cured aged live rosin. So what happens is, in the cold, the terpenes actually oxidize back into the THC and CBD. So you get a full spectrum, and you're not losing anything. And as the time progresses, that flavor literally changes. The color of the live rosin changes from this really, really nice yellow color to a pure white. And it comes out more of a powder than a paste and gooeyiness. Nobody's really seen this. So I feel we're some of the first people to do this. I may be mistaken. Somebody might pop up and say, hey, I've been doing this for 10 years. But for us, we haven't heard of it. And we broke into it the other night. Oh my God. That's all I can say. I can't wait for people to try this, because they're going to try this product and they're going to say, wow, this is literally like fine wine and cheese. How do we get it? And the only way to do it is start saving it now, of course, which we have been. So we're going to do different test increments. Of course, we're going to do a 5-year, a 10-year, and then a 15-year in cold storage. And I think that you're going to see live rosins go the way of like fine bourbons and fine wines that have been aged. And that whole thing. All right. So back to what led me to this was they dug up a Norwegian medicine woman. Mm-hmm. And in the burial mound was her and her friend. Her friend had lived to 88 years old with 2 different types of cancer. And they determined that her cancer was there for about 15 years. The other lady also had cancer. So they dug this burial mound up, and they found all these jars of tincture. And what it was different cannabis tinctures that had been aged. And they did a bunch of scientific testing to them. They couldn't figure out what the chemical compounds of it were, because they were unknown to man.
Huh. That's interesting.
So yeah, it's very interesting. So it gave me the idea, like, okay, well, if we stick our live rosin in a freezer and let it sit for a few years, what is the testing going to show us? Like, we can't pull it out. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, and I have a pretty good hypothesis of what's going to be different. We're going to see conversion of CBD into 3 or 4 different chemicals. We're going to see the terpene lilanou change into 3 or 4 different chemicals over a process, because you have to understand, while the plant is living, it is doing a chemical process. It is synthesizing THC, CBD, and all of these other terpenes, and in a very short amount of time. What happens to coal under pressure over millions of years? It turns into a diamond.
Yeah.
We don't know what THC is going to do under 5 years in a cold environment, being trapped along with the full spectrum of the plant. I truly believe that these Norwegian women were onto something. I think that they had figured out how to make a tincture that literally might not have killed their cancer, but it stopped it.
Yeah, and that's not the first evidence we've seen of that either. That's
no
something we've pretty much been latching onto for a while now. And yeah, obviously that's something that takes a lot of time to get any sort of proof with. But the fact of the matter is, it also helps with the symptoms at the very least. Again, going back to, people deserve to be comfortable. So it's kind of like a win-win. And you're right, there's a whole lot of potential. Real curious about it. I do think you might be really onto something in terms of a luxury product there too, because people are willing to pay a lot of money for a 20-year aged bourbon or 20-year aged wine. So
right,
or even just a 20-year aged cheese. So like,
yeah,
you're definitely onto something there.
You know, and I mean, I honestly see the way of hash. I don't really see hydrocarbon being around much longer. If you're staying in tune with the market, about this time last year, pounds of hydrocarbon extract were going for 2,500. It is now dropped to 1,150 per pound. And because what we're seeing is live rosins coming on board, people want the full spectrum. So imagine this: you take a hydrocarbon dab, you get this much. It's semi-flavorful, really stony, messes you up good.
Yeah.
you take a live rosin dab and it's literally the exact taste as if you were smelling a fresh green bud. And that taste stays forever, and it's a full spectrum. The high is totally different. I can smoke live rosin, but again, I'm a different person. I've been in this all my life. It's like probably the guy that works for Jack Daniels that does all the sampling all day. He doesn't get drunk. Yeah, I have a huge tolerance. So I smoke live rosin all the day, just for the flavor. It I can't explain it. You know, just go out to the store and get some live rosin opposed to some hydrocarbon extract, and you're gonna be blown away. The other aspect is it's so new, it hasn't caught on. You know, you travel around to, Washington and Oregon, of course it's there, but we have friends that have stores in Washington, D.C. that are like, what is live rosin? How do we do this? And, so as federal legalization comes on board, more and more people are going to get to experience this. And I think once they do, they're not going to want this small spectrum plant matter. They're going to want the full spectrum. And then the whole back to the genome sequencing and stuff, we can really tailor that in. Certain plants are only going to produce certain bandwidths of spectrum. So with that all said, we can really hit the live rosin market with a multifaceted product line, like I envision, from healthcare to recreational and everything in between.
Yeah, very well said, Ethan. I feel like we've did a pretty good job going through this dialogue here about the potential uses of it, and I think you're 100% right in that it just hasn't gotten the exposure and the adoption that it needs yet, but it will.
No,
That's the whole thing. Is like when a superior product is introduced into a market, it's still naturally going to take time. It's going to have a lifespan, and it's going to hit that spot and then spread like wildfire. So that would be my prediction on it.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. And from my point of view, it's like the night before Christmas. You know, you kind of have an idea of what you got, but you don't know until you open it. So it's this big thing, but everybody that's gotten a sneak peek is just like, wow, jaw dropping, wow. So I think we're really onto something. And then, the whole aging aspect of it too just changes everything. I mean, I wish I could download my brains so all the viewers could feel and smell and taste what I tasted out of that aged live rosin, because you guys would be calling us up left and right going, hey, how do we get this? It's absolutely phenomenal. And then also on the science side of it, it's crazy cool. Like, you take this thing that is clear yellow and you put it in the freezer, you forget about it, and 2 months later you come back and you pull it out and you can see the different levels of density separation going on in there. And so you'll see terpene pockets, which are these clear pockets of terpenes that have separated from the THC, CBD, CBN. And what they're doing is they are figuring themselves out. It's almost like its own chemical reaction going on and in time. And you get these little glimpses of it when you look at it through these different stages. So it starts out this really pretty yellow. Mm-hmm. And then it goes to this crazy marbling inside of the jar where you see like almost like a swirling galaxy. Yeah. And now to the point where it's, pure white and coming out into a powder form. So with that aspect, and then the other change in it is it's more handleable. You can put it in your pocket in an envelope and it doesn't melt. So, there's that whole aspect of it. And it's going to change and revolutionize the way people look at hash and the way people handle hash too. The way I envision it through our vertically integrated corporation that we're building here, all of our stores are going to have basically like a hash humidor, which is going to be a environment and temperature controlled area. You're going to walk in, there's going to be beautifully packaged, time stamped, wax stamped, professionally done hash blocks, and you're going to be able to come in and be like, oh, I want a 2022 OG Kush, and there you go. You take it home, slice off a bit, and enjoy the night with your friends. It's going to be the next wine.
Yeah, agreed. I like the way you like put that whole image in people's head. You walked through the entire process. And yeah, I mean, honestly, it sounds like it tastes amazing, but unfortunately, Ethan, we can't download your brain. But again,
I know.
I think you did the second best thing here. I think you did the second best. And I thank you for coming on. And I thank everyone for watching. If anyone has any questions for Ethan or anything, let us know. We'll happily answer them for you. But Ethan, do you have any last words before we go?
Hey, just enjoy 2022. Keep your eye out for us. We're going to do some really exciting things, and hopefully someday you get to try some of our aged live rosin.
Wonderful. Well, Ethan, again, thank you. Thank you everyone for watching and have a wonderful day.